Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Connie Balmer. Hey, Connie Balmer. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, I was working on my thumbnail. I rather like it. You know, I do my custom thumbnails sometimes. I don't actually use a program. I just kind of shift stuff around. That does not sound weird, does it? Raffaella Bertoni, thank you so much for being here first. Followed by Connie Balmer and Mary H. and a host of friends and others like Love Wins Movement. Is Lady Metatron's here? Very cool. Carolyn Teal. And who's this butthead? Oh, that's me. Royal Sussex. Okay. Puzzle Dot is here. Wow. Okay. It's been a while. Emma D. Okay. Lovely. All right. Okay, I got that up. And I don't need anything else. And we're good to go. I don't know if you guys noticed that I changed the intro. Not the well, let me show you. Check it out. Did you notice that? 35 million views. 35 million views. And over 50,000 subscribers. And guess what? As of today, 53,000 subscribers. I'm just waiting for that number to jump over. And pretty soon there's going to be 53,000 subscribers. Yeah, the new subscribers are coming in very fast. So if you are one of the new subbies, thank you very much and welcome to Royal Sussex. And while we're on that topic of subscribers, oh, wow. Kate Middleton looked sad, just like Princess Diana. You know what? I want in on this one. I got to share you this this photo. Let me see here. Kate Middleton looked like sad Princess Diana during a Photoshop crisis. Royal Insider. She may look sad during this crisis that just happens to revolve around the Photoshop, but what's making her sad is not that she's been caught out or called out with the whole idea of photoshopping. I think the sadness is coming from the person who is supposed to be her savior, her knight in shining armor. That sadness, no doubt, is coming from Willie Leaks. That's where it's coming from. Let me grab this photo and I'm going to share it with you. Just happened to see it while I was, oh no, we didn't roll over. Let me grab that. Let me grab that too. I'm grabbing all kind of stuff here. Wow, thank you so much. 3 new subscribers just that fast. Very cool. At this rate, we'll be at 100,000 subscribers in about 5 years. In about 5 years, but that's okay. We'll get there. Okay. So I don't need that. I need to go over here and grab that photo that I just saved. All right. Let me get rid of the no lash Victoria Arbiter and get rid of that one. And I got to bring this photo up for you guys to see. They just, I think it's on, is it page 6? Here we go. Now, the thing is she really looking sad or is she even in a car? You see there? They did a side by side with, of course, uh, William and Kate, and then Diana and Charles. And at least Charles is looking toward Diana. Willie Leaks is looking at his electronic device. And then that person who may or may not be Kate Middleton, who may or may not be in the vehicle, who may or may not have taken that photo the other day, is staring at a brick wall. And you know what's so odd about the brick wall? I want you to notice that through the car, through the vehicle, the brick wall seems to be rather bright. Wouldn't the bricks actually have appeared darker going through a darkened vehicle? And if you look above the vehicle, the bricks are this bright, well, not bright, but this fiery red color. And the grout or the whatever in between the bricks, you don't even see it. It's almost blended in. So that is very strange. I have to admit that is very strange. Oh, wow. I guess I can say the name. Dorothy Ross, thank you very much for the PayPal. And thank you so much for being here. Greatly appreciate it. As per always, Dorothy Ross has been supporting Royal Sussex for a long time, and it is greatly, greatly appreciated. So, some people have a membership on the YouTube, and some people prefer to do it another way, but greatly appreciate it. And it goes a long way to support this channel. So, thank you so much. Okay. And I'm good. Well, I guess I'm done with this, but I'm going to take it away. But yeah, you can see that page 6 is saying that Princess Diana looks sad the same way that Kate Middleton looks sad. But we don't know how Kate Middleton is feeling because she's looking away from the camera at the most opportune second possible. I mean, as soon as they held up the camera, I guess she turned her head. I mean, this is 2024, and you would imagine anyone with an electronic device, like for instance, why would you just snap a photo instead of recording the vehicle driving by? Wouldn't it make more sense that if you see a vehicle coming and you suspect it is a member of the royal family and you are using, say, a smartphone, because as grainy as that photo appeared, Lord, please don't tell me that that was a camera, because just like with the other photos, the grainy noisiness seems to be prominent, even though, I don't know, I can't go through that one again, but it's frustrating. It's frustrating, and it just it does not make sense that they usually have the a bit of a courtesy from locals in Windsor. People don't just take photos of them constantly. It's very rare that you see photos of the royals coming and going. And it seems like when they need to send a message, then someone just happens to be there. And the quality of the photo is also, I guess, geared toward whatever message they're trying to send. So that is kind of a pain in the neck for me, but it's hard to tell what the goal is. Some messages are for the masses, and then some messages are for this person or some other individual. So it's hard to say who they were trying to appeal to. Tinkerbell, thank you so much for becoming a new member of Royal Sussex. That is very cool, which reminds me, I wanted to put the link up there for the membership, and I saw that photo and got distracted, so that's why I didn't put it up there, but I'm going to put the membership link up at the top. I'm having a bit of a membership drive for Royal Sussex. They start as low as $4.99, but there are some others that are a little more expensive. Um, so if you choose, but let me do this so that I can get that up there. All right, so there it is on the screen. Now I'm going to pin that to the top of the chat. And should you choose to get a membership, you get access to those stickers that you see people using in the comment. But it has to be a YouTube membership, not of any other kind. So thank you very much for the new membership. All right, so I'm going to take that photo away and we are going to keep it moving. Okay. Yeah, but I saved that one because I don't know. I may need to go back to that one again. So there we go. All right, let's get into this Misan Harriman. When I first saw this, I'm just like, okay. Yesterday, Richard Eden, or Maureen, as we unaffectionately refer to him, Richard Eden was doing his whatever thing that is, right? The palace talks or whatever. And of course, since the Kate Middleton Photogate debacle, I have been actually very keen to hear these conversations that I usually ignore because most days I don't watch any of those talking heads because they only make me very frustrated and angry. But is it Richard K? I think the other guy's name is Richard K. He was on there also. And even though he is not a fan of the Sussexes directly or indirectly, he just don't really care for the Sussexes. He is a staunch monarchist, but he will call the monarchs of the monarchy out. He will call the royal family out for things that they do that are not very logical. Robert Jobson is also capable of that, but he doesn't do it most days because he does not want to have his invitation to the king's table canceled or anybody else's table canceled. But I think it's Richard K. He actually was very pointed about how the monarchy is losing their I don't want to say high moral ground, but they're losing the public's trust. And then of course he spoke about the fact that they are being supported by the taxpayers, by the subjects of the crown, and that people should people have a right to expect trust, or people should be able to trust the royal family. So I can't give you the direct words because I don't recall, but he will call them out, is what I'm saying. And this is that guy with the white hair, the one that seemed to be almost begging the Sussexes, please let us know what you're doing, where you're going, and how long will you travel, and who are you going to talk to. He has the white hair, and he was practically begging the Sussexes to allow us to have, I guess, an itinerary of whatever traveling or whatever engagements you're going to do. But of course, in Montecito, there are no leaks. There's no leaks in Montecito. So they're not privileged to that. And even though they constantly, and that's why I really cannot stand those shows, is because they're constantly insinuating that they have some inside information. And worst of them all is that Schofield person. She doesn't know jack about anything. And she keeps giving this very broad American perspective about things. And even more puzzling, this very detailed Hollywood perspective of how people feel about the Sussexes. And none of it pans out. They can go to rural Texas and people are excited to see them. And you see all over these local television stations and newspapers the royal visit, making no mention of those people back in Narnia, except for now the occasional mention of illness. But aside from that, nothing about why they left and the circumstances. They really don't care. They don't care. And I'm sure that drives them bonkers. But Harry goes to Formula One, big welcome. He goes to a rodeo, big welcome. And Meghan, all the places that she's been, like when she went to, what was it, Indianapolis or whatever it was for that women's conference, and the local television stations, it was all they talked about for a week. And the only thing they had to show for it was a few photos from Meghan on the stage speaking on whatever, and maybe Meghan walking through to the garage to the SUV, and that was it. And they could not have been more excited. No mention about any of those people back in Narnia. So it's so deceptive, this whole idea that they're just not that popular. They're just not that relevant. Well, if they're not that popular or they're not that relevant, why are you making a big fuss about these photos from what, 2, 3 years ago? And that horrible Richard Eden, I'd like to go look back at a few of those Sussex photos. And I'm thinking to myself, you only have a few photos from Harry and Meghan. Most of the photos of Harry and Meghan come from other people. They come from news agencies and such. You may grab a few photos from their website. But aside from that, they're not constantly throwing photos of their children out there. It's very rare that they issue photos. I mean, all the photos that came from the Invictus in Dusseldorf, they have that one photo where they're in the crowd applauding. I think that's the only photo that I can think of that they took a shine to, but the rest of them, they came from whatever official photographers that were invited, but it was up to them to choose what photos they were going to take. And of course, there were people from the German media that was there that were very gracious with the Sussexes. But Richard Eden, he wants to go back and I guess do this in-depth study and do some type of I guess forensic investigation of all of these photos. And I was thinking at that point when I heard him say that, I'd like to go back and take a look at, and they were talking about Kate. But twice he went out of his way to say that we need to take a look. Well, I need to take a look at the Sussex photos. And I knew instantly that was silly because they didn't have that many photos. And they really don't. They don't have a lot of photos. There's not a lot of official photos from the Sussexes. And isn't it interesting that Will and Kate are determined to share photos that they actually snapped themselves? And it's the Sussexes that is doing things the old-fashioned way by getting a real photographer to come in, like Misan. And then I just want you all to bear in mind something. During the global pandemic, when that black and white photo, which accompanied the pregnancy announcement, when that photo was taken, it was taken with a iPad, if I recall. I believe it was taken with an iPad. But let us check it out because he put the metadata up there, but I thought it was an iPad, but let's check it out. But I think it was some photo that was taken remotely with an iPad, and I can't remember which one it was. But so you'll forgive me if I didn't get that 100% right. Hello, Joan Garcia. Uh, oh, Karen Williams. Hello. Oh, Maureen. No offense. I was speaking of Richard Eden. That's his nickname. Deirdre Mikey, long time. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so Misan Harriman says, "You're kidding, right? It's a real tree. Nothing has been changed beyond the black and white grade." Meaning, of course, he took a color photo and changed it to a black and white. And then, of course, it's extraordinary that the Mail would publish such an article. I suggest you listen to the podcast. I was asked a leading question by the host. I ignored it and spoke about the love my friends have for each other, how that can be turned into an article about me placing trees is crazy. So apparently, they accused Misan Harriman of putting a tree where there was none. So, and that's the article right there. Harry and Meghan face hypocrisy row. And you know what? The whole thing is about the headline: Harry and Meghan, hypocrisy. That's the only thing that they want to make sure that people, I guess, plant into their psyche so that they can, I guess, gaslight people into having these negative feelings to trigger negativity toward the Sussexes. But of course, anyway, let's do this. So Harry and Meghan face hypocrisy row as it emerged. Snap from her second pregnancy was doctored, not their second pregnancy. I mean, some couple, but let me stop. After allies waded into Kate's Photoshop furor. So all of that was to remind you guys that Harry and Meghan are guilty of the same thing that Kate is guilty of, or Kate has been accused of. This has nothing to do with them taking four people, an adult and three children. And one could argue that none of them were actually there. It almost appears as though there was someone sitting in the chair that was not Kate Middleton. It appears as though the kids were placed there, and it appears as though Kate's rather uniquely shaped head was placed there. Very odd. That is like a quilt, it's a tapestry, a Frankenstein of a photo. 17 points. 17 points of that photo. 17 inconsistencies with that photo. So if and this did not happen, but if Misan Harriman placed a tree, at least he didn't do body parts. At least he didn't run around like Jack the Ripper, just grabbing. At least it's not like he dumped a bag of limbs on the ground and started stitching them together. Because, figuratively speaking, whoever did the Frankenstein job on that photo, that's exactly what it is. It's a bunch of body parts all stuck together. And I promise you, I'm surprised Richard Eden didn't write this article, but I promise you it was probably pushed along by him. But then again, they're all such nasty individuals. I'm pretty sure they all came to the same conclusion, and that is, how can we make this about Harry and Meghan? Elaine Parker, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for being here with us this fine afternoon or evening for you. I'm guessing that it is 8 p.m. Yeah, it should be 8:07 for you right now. 8:04 rather. No, I'm sorry. Yep. Anyway, it's something after 8 p.m. for you. So thank you so much for being here. Antoinette Kennedy says, Baron, I bet KP and Willy Wonka can't submit proof of their photos. Darn idiots always trying to drag Harry and Meghan on their BS, and that dog will always come back to bite. Yes, it will. Hi, Lottie. Yeah, well, we can't allow the English rose to get dragged without taken down. It's like one of those movies. I remember I saw that one with gosh, I forget which model it was, but that was her film debut, and Cindy Crawford. And do you remember how there was someone after her and they were out to get her? And this guy that played the cop, I forgot who the actor was, but he wasn't a big shot either. But anyway, all of his friends and maybe even one of his relatives were killed in the movie for him trying to save her from the mob or whatever it was. And I'm just like, you mean to tell me some, I don't know, 50 people have lost their lives because you're trying to save her from what? Wouldn't it just be easier to find another girlfriend? But it's the same principle. That's how they're doing Kate, is that it doesn't matter how many people have to be sacrificed. We have to save this English rose, or it'd be like the crows leaving the Tower of London. If anything happens to her, a hair out of place, then all hell is going to break loose. Jennifer Clark, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you so much for being here. Greatly appreciate it. I guess it's evening for you as well. And Connie Balmer. Thank you, Connie Balmer, for the super sticker. All right. Hey, Black Queen. I didn't know you were here. And Mystic Toxin. Let's see. They just met because the Sussexes have a VIP photographer and not a wannabe princess who took a course or two at St. Andrews. Ooh, that stings. I love it. I love it. Yeah, well, they made a big fuss about how professional she is, but now she has been downgraded to amateur, so that way they can explain away that photo. But you guys, I don't think Kate had anything to do with that photo. That was just a rush to try to compete with the Sussexes. That's all it was. She had nothing to do with it. She wants her privacy and is not in any hurry to put anything out there. They didn't issue a photo for her birthday. Why would they do one for Mother's Day? So there's the photos in question. The one on the right is the one in question. The one on the left side is the original. Now, again, as far as I know, I thought this was done with an iPad, but maybe I'm confusing that with the one where Harry and Meghan were standing, and I think Meghan was holding Archie. I should have brought that other photo up, but I imagine they were taken the same day. Anyway, Elva Francis, thank you so much. And yeah, so one of the things that we know that makes this a very authentic photo, meaning that it was something that is not exactly spontaneous, but it captures them where they are the most comfortable, and that is Harry running around barefoot. Remember when the nanny first, they hired that nanny, the one that saved Archie's life? She said that she wasn't sure how she was going to conduct herself and that she was thinking protocol, protocol, protocol. And then when she drives up to the cottage, the Frogmore cottage, she sees this guy running around looking like he works there, not lives there. And it was Harry with his bare feet running around like, a ball of energy. And she realized at that point that she was going to be very happy there. And of course she was. So, oh my goodness, Maureen, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex and also for being a member of Royal Sussex. Greatly appreciate it. And happy Wednesday to you. Good Lord, is it Wednesday? Did somebody roofie me? How is this Wednesday? How is this Wednesday? I tell you, with all of this Photogate stuff, time is going. I don't know why I thought this was Tuesday. That is so weird. Maybe because I've been on spaces day and night. Anyway, thank you so much, Maureen, and greatly appreciate it. And again, thank you for being a member. So, that photo was taken on the grounds of the stately, palatial, opulent, picturesque Sussex Manor in Montecito, California, where there are no leaks. And I believe it was taken during the global pandemic. Yes, it was. The tree was not placed there. The tree is there. I repeat, the tree was not placed there. It just is. There was no movement of a tree. Now, I'm going to let you hear. Oh, by the way, yeah, see, I was right. It was the Apple iPad. I remember at the time they said that they were coached through the session with Misan Harriman, discussing everything with them on the phone or whatever, and that they used an iPad. And so there you go. Apple iPad, 8th generation. It's the back camera, and you can see all the data right there. And maybe when they were flapping their gums about Sussex photos, they likely did not recall that, but Misan Harriman was not even there. He just coached them through it. And then from there, the photo went to Misan, and he converted it into a black and white. Now, one would assume that it's just a matter of, hitting like noir, or what's the other settings called? Anyway, there's like, with an Apple device, I believe there's 3 or 4 different black and white settings, right? It's not so easy just to do that because, number one, you got to decide which one is most suitable. And then also, you got to do something with the light. So, as you can see, the lighting has been adjusted because there wasn't much light on Harry's face. You see there? And that's about the only thing that was adjusted, was just to bring some light to Harry's face. And as an amateur myself, that's about the only thing that I can see that was enhanced about the photo. So it was converted into a black and white, perhaps a little more light for Harry's face. Perhaps. I'm not even sure about that. But aside from that, I can't think of anything else that is different about it. Let me see. I could actually check that out right now because I'm on a Mac. I have that photo saved. And I am going to go to the filters. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. He brought some light to Harry's face. There's mono, silver tone, and noir. So that is where his expertise as a photographer comes in, was simply bringing some light to Harry's face. I mean, you got to be able to see him. But that's what makes it so much more authentic when you look at the color version, because there, that is stripped down, nothing added. Okay? That is stripped down, nothing added. So, in other words, those that data that you see right there, that is the photo. That is the photo. Nothing else done to it. So that's the only thing that I can see, is he brought some light to Harry's face, and that was that. So there were no trees moved at all. There was no movement of trees. Crotchin Chicken Hidden Egg says, see that, Crotchin Chicken? You didn't know that I could speak hen, but I have my talents. But anyway, let me translate that for the rest of you. He stated in a video that it was taken via iPad. Yes, thank you very much. And thank you so much for those super chat. Oh, okay. That was fun, right? The only other person that I know that can speak that language is, of course, is the silky chicken herself, the queen consort. uh, okay. But yes, thank you for that. Oh, by the way, you guys, let me see. Oh, okay. This is out of order, but since we have it up here, let's go with it. Misan Harriman says, "Oh my God, we just won the NAACP Image Award. The NAACP Image Award. I grew up watching the NAACP Image Awards and never thought something like this would happen. This film is on a truly remarkable journey. Congratulations once again to our team." Ha! The NAACP Image Award. Oh, Connie Balmer, thank you very much. Yes, we didn't even celebrate, did we? I just mentioned it, but we'll do that later. Terry Carver, thank you so much for the super chat. Terry says, let's write an encyclopedia on Harry and Meghan. We really should. We really should. Well, there's Megapedia. Megapedia. And what was the other one? Oh, I forgot. But there was someone who had a space that was devoted to the timeline for Harry and Meghan. And I forgot what it was called. But I actually, well, I mentioned it before, I think. I can't remember if I had that person actually on Royal Sussex, but I did mention it before. And Lady Metatron says, let's smash the like button harder than Church Nelly wants to smash Nacho. Thank you, Mystic Toxin, and thank you so much for the super chat. Greatly appreciate it. Yeah, so there you go. The After, outstanding short from live action, short form that is live action. And of course, congratulations again to Misan Harriman. Now, Omid Scobie, who has been trolling the royal family for some time, weighed in on it. But before I get to that, let us listen to what Misan Harriman had to say. As you can see, there is a video that he recorded. And while I didn't download the actual video because I wasn't sure that I could, and I don't want to get in trouble because I just dodged a strike. The guy was gracious enough to lift the strike, but I tell you, 3 strikes you're out, and that's exactly what it is. So I'm always nervous about those strikes, but I'll let you listen to what our beloved Misan had to say, and then we'll talk on the other side.
Pregnancy announcement portrait I took of Harry and Meghan. Apparently I was switching out trees and meadows, and I admitted to this in an episode of a podcast called...
Let me just stop there right there because I started it out with the volume down very low. But I tell you, when I first heard him say that apparently I swapped out trees and meadows, I was so tickled by that. Apparently, I swapped out trees and meadows. It's like a very deadpan sense of humor, but the thing is, I'm pretty sure he's very upset. But he's a beautiful human being, and it hurts me that they would do that. But that is a measure of success when people are coming for you. So let's do it again.
Hey, I've just got back to reality from the Oscars, and unfortunately, there's been an article on the Daily Mail saying that I have admitted to doctoring the pregnancy announcement portrait I took of Harry and Meghan. Apparently, I was switching out trees and meadows, and I admitted to this in an episode of a podcast called Private Passions. This is crazy. I was interviewed, I think in 2022, by Michael Barkley. I'm going to play you the segment on Private Passions. And we were talking about the technology I used to shoot people during lockdown. Many photographers were doing virtual shoots in those days. And this is how we came onto the subject. Michael asked me a few leading questions in this interview. What I mean by leading questions, it's what some journalists do, where they make a statement as fact and they hope you respond or add something to it. I get that a lot in regards to Harry and Meghan, and I tend to swerve, ignore, try and get back on track, and say what I'm there to say rather than any sort of intrigue and gossip. And that's exactly what happened. I'm going to play you this segment. Photography. Yeah, but virtual shooting. My most well-known virtual shoot is the portrait I took of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle announcing their pregnancy. It's a very joyous image. The technology allows you to take over a phone or an iPad, and they can hear my voice, and I can still press a shutter and compose with ease. It's extraordinary what you can do with technology.
They weren't actually under a willow tree, but they were lying outside in a meadow, weren't they, Harry and Meghan, when you took a photograph of them?
Yeah, they were lost in their love, at home, in their garden, comfortable, celebrating new joy, new life, the fortitude of hoping for light in life after such a loss that they went through with a miscarriage. And so it really was a particularly joyous image to celebrate life itself. Well, so how that exchange could amount to me admitting to doctoring an image is insidious and really dangerous journalism. Any mention of meadows and willow trees came out of the person doing the interview, not my mouth. I did my best to ignore it and focus on what I wanted to talk about. So to see an article saying as fact that I did what I did not do is extraordinary to me. And then to try and merge it with this current news cycle of what's happening, it's tragic to see. It was a virtual shoot that I shot on an iPad, an 8 megapixel iPad. And the only thing that was changed is the black and white color grade. That's it. And the Daily Mail and the journalist that wrote this has to be better than this. It's dangerous and unacceptable behavior.
Yeah, there was no reason that I could imagine at the time that this person would ask a question like that unless they assumed that they could use it for no good later on. And Misan Harriman, I have to take my hat off. He was very skilled at swerving and avoiding. And he said they were lost with each other's embrace or affection or whatever. He didn't add anything. He didn't take anything away. He just described their connection with each other. And it is very dangerous. And I hope that he can be very well compensated for having to go through something like this. But it just goes to show the depths of the hate campaign that has been waged against the Sussexes, it's like they never miss a beat. They never miss a beat. It's kind of like when a person is extremely wealthy and you hope that the next person you talk to are not looking toward you as he or she who can change their lives. You know, you have to develop an ear for that. So it's like they can spot an opportunist a mile away sometimes. Most times you hope so. And then, of course, there's always that one that thinks that they're even more clever than the last. And it's the same way when you have to do an interview, and let's say you have any kind of connection to Harry and Meghan. If you ever bumped into them at the airport, then you're an authority that can speak on their behalf. And if they know that you know Harry and Meghan, or that you've had some type of connection to them, no matter how obscure that connection, they're going to ask you something about Harry and Meghan. If you're an American and you're visiting, let's say, the UK, and you just happen to be there to promote a movie, what are they going to ask you about? Harry and Meghan. They always throw that in there. They're so tenacious about it. They never miss an opportunity. So, and then just like I was using the analogy of the rich person, it makes you wonder, were you talking to me because I'm rich? Or did you really want to know how I felt about global warming? Either way, doesn't matter. You're going to get to a certain point where you're going to either expose yourself or you're not. So that can be very disturbing, but you know, and it doesn't necessarily have to just be Harry and Meghan. It could be a variety of topics that they want you to comment on, like, you know, Donald Trump or the election or something like that. They love to get people on the record. So you have to be very careful when you speak to people. And if it's anything that I am good at, that is dodging that nonsense, because I can hear it a mile away, and before it gets started. And plus, you know, I'm a Scorpio, so I'm kind of used to being very mysterious, very private. So yeah, that also helps. But yeah, it's a disgusting thing. So Miss Scobie says the only thing that was changed was the black and white color grade. The journalist that wrote this has to be better than this. Is dangerous and unacceptable behavior. Photographer and director Misan Harriman responds to allegations that he doctored a photo of the Sussexes. And of course, what you just heard is the image that you see there where Misan Harriman says, my statement after seeing the Mail Online article. I didn't actually look at the article. I know of it, but I didn't read the article. So Daily Mail lies again. This is a quote from, I believe it was one of the squatties, perhaps. Anyway, you know, when I put the red box around it, then that means that is a quote from someone who I don't want to identify their account. But they said the Daily Mail lies again regarding Harry and Meghan's photo. In order to insert Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan in Prince William and Kate Middleton's messy photo doctoring scandal, the Daily Mail have ran untrue headlines, including one implying that the Sussex's Princess Lilibet Diana baby announcement photo taken by Misan Harriman was doctored, and he admitted this. Misan has denied this defamation. And then, of course, there's a quote right there that says, anyone who relies on the Daily Mail for news is a fool. They are intent on disrupting Harry and Meghan's peace, bringing them into royal matters that don't concern them, and then saying Harry and Meghan want that connection. They are willing to lie on Misan's professional integrity to do this. Shame on them. Since 2018, they continue to prove why they were right to leave the United Kingdom. So there you have it. It gets to be very frustrating. It really does. Not even gets to be frustrating. It just is. It just is. It's like you want to lower your shoulders and take some nice deep breaths and enjoy whatever good news, like the announcement of a baby. Well, it took a lot longer than I expected, but here we are. All this time later, now they found something terribly wrong with that photo, something nefarious and suspicious, just to try to throw a lifeline to the Princess of Wales. She needs to take that ring off, though. She needs to keep that ring off. If you're listening, Kate, I say throw that ring. What was that leg say? Throw it into the volcano. Throw it into the fire. That ring is cursed. Get rid of that ring. Oh, you know what? I don't know why I did that twice, but that's the same thing that I just read. So we can skip that one. And Misan Harriman responds to allegation. He photoshopped Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's family portrait. Well, this is all over the place now. This photo is actually from Town and Country. Also, I believe it's in People magazine. So this is going to be trending for the next 24 hours, I believe. But yeah, photographer calls out the insidious and really dangerous journalism that accused him of photoshopping Harry and Meghan's pregnancy announcement photo from 2021. BS Speaks Royal. Hello. Catherine the Great. Now, I deliberately identified that account. Catherine the Great. In other words, that is a deranger. Says, Misan Harriman took and admitted adding the tree behind them. As an online sleuth, I demand this pic be treated with the same scrutiny and respect Catherine's pic got removed from archives. Okay, first of all, who the hell is you to be telling people to remove some? Who are you? Catherine the who? Oh, God. How pompous, how arrogant, how full of thyself. So, unfortunately, our beloved Misan responded, you're kidding, right? It's a real tree. Nothing has been changed beyond the black and white grade. It's extraordinary that the Mail would publish such an article. I suggest you listen to the podcast. I was asked a leading question by the host. I ignored it and spoke about the love my friends have for each other. How that can be turned into an article about me replacing trees is crazy. That's it. That's it. So that deranger got the attention that they wanted so desperately. And anyway, I don't suppose that Misan is going to, what did she say, remove it from the archive. Does this person understand anything? As an online sleuth, I demand this pic be treated with the same scrutiny and respect. The same scrutiny and respect. That's misplaced, isn't it? Because the thing is, I don't know there's so many people respect the photo that was submitted on Kate's behalf. That's why we're here right now, is because there is no respect for that photo that had 17 points of concern. That photo that was... Wait, you don't suppose that they're hoping that the AP and the other four news agencies, you don't suppose that this person, Catherine the Great, is waiting for them to put a kill order in on Misan's photo. Is that what we're hoping for? Listen, Karen, I'm sorry, Catherine the Great. Don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath, because you are going to pass out waiting for them to come after Misan for this photo. Now, speaking of which, you guys, okay, I'll show you in due time. Of course, James O'Brien has also been trolling the royal family. Harry did explain that the papers would turn on you when it suited them. No matter how far you've bent over backwards to appease them, or how many family members you'd thrown to the wolves, they will turn on you when they don't need you anymore. So, ever since all of this happened, or since this began, the royal family has been trolled by James O'Brien, and I personally am here for it. I love it. Thank you, Brother James. Here is yet another meme. Here is yet another meme. I'm telling you, these people have become the butt of the joke. They really have. And once you have been reduced to that, you know how everybody was trying to make fun of Harry and Meghan because of the New York car chase. They are getting a taste of their own medicine. The same way you had all of these people so skeptical and making all these jokes about the Sussexes being pursued by these gangs of photographers in blacked out vehicles. Now you got the reverse happening. It has been projected their way, where people are openly laughing and mocking them. You know, like, get in the car, Charles. She won't get in the car. What am I going to do? I am loving this. I am loving this, because that, oh, she never puts the foot wrong, which I don't understand that. This is someone who spent half of their first few years as the Duchess of Cambridge with her skirt blown over her head, with her skirt flying up in her face, right? That's never put the foot wrong. Or how about this is the person who got into the state Bentley with the Queen, and when she sat down, her skirt went up. When she stood up, her skirt still went up. She's out with the Queen of England, the head of the church and the armed forces, a mother to us all. In all of Western civilization, if you say the Queen, people knew you were speaking of Queen Elizabeth II. And you, Kate the Commoner, steps into the state Bentley, hopefully wearing some knickers, steps into the state Bentley with this short skirt, looking like you're flying for some Eastern European airline or something. She looked like one of those old stereotypical air hostesses from the 1960s. And of course, expecting all of this respect and adulation and such. And the poor Queen, embarrassed. So when they say she never put a foot wrong, I tell you what, I'm glad she kept her knees together. Okay. Let me see. Church Nelly, congratulations, Baron, on 53,000 subscribers. Thank you, Church Nelly. Thank you for being a part of this incredible ride. Thank you, Karen M. I know, can you believe it? 53,000. Well, I tell you what, we have not had a little dance off yet, so why don't we throw a little of that Ivy in there. Yeah, let's throw some Ivy in there. Hello, Ivy here to celebrate 53,000 subscribers. Hello, Ivy here. Hello, Ivy. Girl, the Duchess of Sussex won. Meet me at the Royal Sussex party. Janelle's gonna be there. All right, Ivy out. You know what? I have not come down from my high yet. As you know, All right. So, thank you all very much. 53,000 subscribers. Happy, happy, joy, joy. Okay. So, then of course, yesterday they started in on this one. And the weird thing is, they were the ones, they of course being Sun, they were the ones that actually tinkered around with the photo. If you remember the controversy, I almost forgot about this whole ordeal. But, well, as Iris said, the tabloids deliberately edited Harry and Meghan's Christmas card to frame Meghan in some gotcha. They were exposed by the person who took the photo, Meghan's friend. In 2024, said tabloid is attempting to use the photo they edited to deflect criticism. Someone is panicking. And this is what I said, is that when I heard Richard Eden moaning about, oh, I can't wait until I can take a good look at the Sussex's photo. Notice that the only thing that they've had to complain about are the very rare official photos that the Sussexes issue. They don't put out photos that often. This is like such a non-issue. They had to reach back so far to try to find something to say, gotcha! They had to almost get in a time machine so that they could go back and try to find something to complain about. The world is on to these people. And there is so many more people nowadays that are calling out that institution. Harry said that they are so afraid of losing the message. Once that institution can no longer demand attention and get people to come running and having them acquiesce to their every little need, then they are going to go in like destruct mode. They're going to self-destruct at that point. That is a huge problem for them. Thank you, Pam Porter, and thank you for being here. And B10 Powell, thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. So, card snark. They even had to come up with one of those clever, whimsical. Again, Meghan wasn't the one that edited the card. That was the Sun. They made Meghan's, and if you don't know what the issue was, they tinkered around with the sharpness of Meghan's photo. I don't know. I guess they thought it was too dark or too something, but it made Meghan's photo very clear, very sharp. And Harry's photo is out of focus and a bit grainy. So they were asking the question, how can Meghan's image be so crystal clear and Harry's looks out of focus? she's being a narcissist or whatever it was they said. Meghan hadn't touched anything. And then they wonder, how come the Sussexes won't show their children? Because you don't deserve it. Because you're not going to do to my children what you have just witnessed the world doing with the Wells's kids. We're not putting our kids out there like that. Of course, it only happened to the Wells kids because of this Frankenstein-like editing that they've committed. I mean, that wasn't just editing. That wasn't just photoshopping. That was an atrocity. I think that the world court, I think Interpol should have been called on the person that edited that photo. There should be some type of international tribunal to actually look into the World Court, the United Nations, the European Union. Somebody needs to get involved with the editing, the butchering of that photo. I'm telling you, it's like Jack the Ripper just took a collection of body parts and just started stringing them together. Oh, Ronnie Vanna, thank you so much for the super sticker. Yes, 53,000. Can you believe it? 53K. I couldn't be happier for you. The best is yet to come. Well, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you as always for watching Royal Sussex. Now, this is Kate in Denmark. This is how the Danish people saw Kate. The invisible contract was not in effect in Denmark. Denmark didn't do anything to rescue. And you know, this is what's really a bad impact on someone's self-esteem, because when the biggest I guess when the most important part of your persona is your looks, right? Your hair, your coat dresses, and yet you're aging in front of the world. But not really, because you have an invisible contract with this British tabloid media that will not allow you to be seen in a bad light. And so there's the Kate Middleton that people see in Britain, airbrushed, photoshopped. And then this is what the people in Denmark witnessed. And the reason why that happened is because the British tabloid media went over there trying to bully the Danish press. They literally went over there trying to call the shots. You see, there's a reason why Kate has never traveled abroad by herself. That was her first international trip as a royal, doing official royal duty with royal engagements. That was the first time that happened. All the years that she's been married into that family, and it never happened. She wouldn't go any place without William. But because we were expecting a big announcement for 2024, increasingly, she and William are doing things separately. And this is the first international engagement. This is the time when she went to Denmark, when she was walking in front of the Queen of Denmark, you know, as if the protocols for the Queen of England does not apply in Denmark. Crown Princess Mary had to tell her, step back, let her go first, dum-dum. Otherwise, she just started prancing right in front of her. The Danish press was not impressed. As a matter of fact, they were insulted by the Kensington Palace people. And not only that, Kate was late on arrival. And then when she was supposed to meet with the Queen of Denmark, She was late for that too, and then walked in front of her. So they were not very accommodating to the Princess of Wales. And that was her first, and that was probably her last trip abroad by herself. I don't know what it is about Will and Kate that after all these years, she's been around that family for 20 years, dating for the 10 years of Wadey Katie, and married for over 10 years, and still has no clue what to do except for smile and wave and laugh. And of course, the jazz hands. And that's it. And yet, everyone is supposed to throw out this blanketed protection for her because the English Rose, who never puts a foot wrong, is in trouble. But people have been calling them out. I mean, people that don't give a toss about that institution. I have been just blown away by the cries of foul and hypocrisy coming from just the average person who has known how they, but then again, too, there's a lot of people who actually thought or believed all of that. Meghan is the narcissist, Meghan this, Meghan that. But things like that trip to Texas has changed them. And of course, fewer and fewer of those British tabloid media journalists are being invited on American television for comment. It's not the big gravy train that it used to be. Now, this popped up on my feed. And you know, one thing that I've learned is that you have to be really quick because they'll take something down again. Just like this photo. It came up and then it went away. And I'm like, ooh, that's the new photo. But it wasn't. This photo is actually about 10 years old. It says Kate's heartwarming nod to Diana during milestone royal moment. And I never did click on the link. I just hurried up and grabbed the photo. I mean, look at the top. It was only up 1 minute and I took it. Because if you don't, then you might miss something. That's why I always tell you guys, screenshot, because they might change something. Well, I think this photo misled quite a few people. Like me, they assumed that this was yet another feeble attempt from Kensington Palace to give us proof of life. But when I put this photo through the Google search, and it turns out the photo is about 10 years old. But let me tell you what else this photo reveals. Take a look here. Look at the photoshopping or the editing that they were doing 10 years ago. How about the what appears to be a double doorknob, maybe? And then I don't know if that's, but look at how the fabric doesn't really seem to, well, it's like, it's, how do I describe this? It seems like they trimmed something away or whatever you call it. It looks like it was a cut and paste or layered in some way. Very, very strange. But they have been doing this for the longest. They have been doctoring these photos. They will not have a professional come in to do photos. They tend to do these things themselves. And that's why this happened. I mean, let us not forget the Christmas photo. And how about that photo for Queen Elizabeth with the great-grandchildren? Remember the one where they inserted Louis into the photo? He wasn't even there. The light was striking his face in the wrong direction. Now, there was enough scrutiny on that one, and you're still doing the same thing? Have you not learned your lesson? That is bonkers, and yet they keep doing it. Now, I have this little sound bite for you. This, of course, is one of those people making a parody of Kate Middleton. Now, remember, y'all, we are supposed to be at our wits' ends with grief and trauma because Kate has taken some time away. This is not exactly what they this is not exactly what they were expecting for beloved Kate. But I believe the world has taken a measure of the royal family and decided we just don't care.
Like many amateur Instagram baddies, I do occasionally experiment with editing. Please help me. While I was recovering from my BBL abdominal surgery, my dear sister Pippa showed me this fabulous mobile app called Facetune. And I simply went a bit bananas over smoothing and making myself skinty. Please help me. I'm not being held hostage against my will by the royal family. I'm simply face-tuning behind closed doors, like so many of us do.
One more time.
Like many amateur Instagram baddies, I do occasionally experiment with editing. Please help me. While I was recovering from my BBL abdominal surgery, my dear sister Pippa showed me this fabulous mobile app called Facetune. And I simply went a bit bananas over smoothing and making myself skinty. Please help me. I'm not being held hostage against my will by the royal family. I'm simply face-tuning behind closed doors, like so many of us do.
So that's one of the new ones I found today. So, like I said, instead of people having all of this deference for the royal family, they have become a huge joke. There's just really no place for the old-fashioned royal in 2024. And if you ask me, William's big problem is that he's a company man. And he has, before he was supposed to modernize the royal family. And he speaks of modernizing the royal family, but he just never actually do anything. He puts out those big statements. He's good for a big statement, but he doesn't follow through with anything. And so instead of going forward, he's going backwards. If you ask me, and this is all alleged, but he used to spend a lot of time with his great grandmother, the Queen Mother, who was known for her cocktails throughout the day, starting at about 10 a.m. and ending at about, 2 a.m. And I guess maybe all that time he spent alone with the Queen Mother, maybe she passed the flask to him. In The Crown, they made it seem like Harry was the one who was leading him down a path of destruction. I think it was the Queen Mother. She probably was slipping that flask to him. She was probably like, "Yeah, dear, this will steady your nerves, eh?" Probably sliding the kids some gin and tonic or something. But I'm pretty sure that if he is having a problem with drink, it probably started with the Queen Mother. And that would explain a lot. The Queen Mother was probably saucing that kid up, at a very young age. And this is the result of it, swaying. Yeah. I blame the Queen Mother. She was notorious. Those Victorians, I'm sorry, she wasn't a Victorian. She was Edwardian. She was an Edwardian. And, they used to sweep a lot of stuff under the rug. So for her, she probably started drinking when she was probably about 8 years old, the Queen Mother, Cookie. So the royals have totally lost control of the narrative. The memes, the conspiracy theories about Kate Middleton's whereabouts might seem silly, but the royal family's authority has taken a major hit. And if I have anything to do with it, it's going to keep taking a major hit. Because how dry I am, huh? How dry I am. Oh, they're going to have to prop him up with some 2x4s. Now, you guys, now this is an acquired taste. Let's see, Baron, the Royals have done it that way for 1,000 years. 1,000 years. As what's his name? David Starkey. And it's been that way for 1,000 years. He can never just say year. He says 1,000 years. Everything sounds so pretentious with him. So anyway, outrage as British talk show. Well, is he a British talk show host? Okay. Outrage as British talk show host John Oliver makes sick joke about the Princess of Wales on US TV show and quips there is a non-zero chance she died 18 months ago. Now, he's not saying that she's dead. He said it's a non-zero chance. I must admit that I didn't understand it, but I'll let you take a listen for yourself.
Yes. I was out. I thought, let's all just ignore this. We've moved on until the Photoshop thing. And it feels like you're almost handling it badly in an impressive way at this point.
Because isn't their motto never complain, never explain?
That's
and
right.
They had her explaining on Twitter?
Yes, there is a non-zero chance she died 18 months ago. They might be Weekend at Bernie's in this situation.
Right.
Non-zero. I'm not saying it happened.
Right, but non-zero.
I'm saying it's non-zero. Until proved otherwise, until you see her with a copy of the day's newspaper.
I have to ask you.
Sure.
What the is going on with Kate Middleton?
Okay, that was gonna roll over again, but you guys, they are done. Now, I don't mean done as in the end of the monarchy, but they lost a lot with the Caribbean tour. You all know that. When Will and Kate embarrassed themselves by doing a colonizer tour in what year was it, 2022? When they did that colonizer tour, William dressed up in his white naval uniform, Kate wearing the almost identical lace dress that the Queen wore upon her visit, and then riding around in that Range Rover did them no favors. Because they lack imagination and because there was nothing in Jamaica that they were passionate about. They had no passion for anything in Jamaica, which is amazing because, you know, I think just about anybody on the planet, there's some element of Jamaican culture that either inspires you or interests you or something. I mean, for such a small country, Jamaica more than makes up for it, let's say, in personality. You know what I'm saying? So there's got to be something that you're interested in. But no, they just went in there like a couple of common colonizers and did not really care about anything except dressing up. That was it. It meant nothing to them. There was no connection there. It was just like, look at me. I'm dressed just like my grandmother back in, like his grandmother back in the 1950s or 60s or whatever it was. It was just hollow, zero personality, which is one of the reasons why they don't go anywhere. The government doesn't ask them to do those tours. And also, there's no governments. Do you guys realize that no foreign government has invited Will and Kate to do a tour? Do y'all realize that? One of the reasons they go on tour is because the government of the other country invites them. No one has invited them since the Caribbean tour. They're not welcome. They're not, there's no like joy or anything like that. They'd rather have Charles with his childbearing hips and those big catcher mitt hands and those ears like a satellite dish. They'd rather have him and not Will and Kate. With all of their youth and vigor means absolutely nothing. Nobody wants them. That's gotta be quite a blow to your ego. Because nobody asked William to come to New York. Nobody asked him to come to Singapore. But that's his way of pretending to be the global statesman. But yet, someone did ask Harry and Meghan to come to Jamaica. And boy, I tell you, the difference was like night and day. Oh, if I only had a brain. Da, 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 da. I forget the words. If I only had a brain. Da, 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 da. That is too funny. That is too funny. Now, if I don't recall what happened on that Caribbean tour. You know, I'm being sarcastic. Of course, I know what happened. Oh, let me see here. Do I dare? Do I dare? Oh, there we go. Hit it.
Yes, Prince. Trenchtown wants $245 billion. That's what Trenchtown wants. $345 billion. Yes, thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what Trenchtown wants. Yes. What do you mean?
Yes, they want that $335 billion. He left with a suitcase full of uniforms and other offensive colonial garments and came back with a bill that he submitted to the Queen for $335 billion. How do you get an all-expense paid vacation and come back with a bill for $335 billion? Now, this guy right here, this is what I'm talking about when I say that people have caught on and that nothing will ever be the same again. This is exactly what I'm talking about.
Here we go.
Because this is it. So, like, I'm hearing a lot of she needs her privacy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hearing a lot of let it be. It could be a medical condition. We're all entitled to privacy when it comes to medical conditions, obviously. That's fine. I want that same energy when Meghan Markle's getting bullied online. I want that same energy when certain members of that, and I'm not the biggest fan, but what happened online was unbelievable to her and her family. And all I heard was, well, it's fair game. You join the Royals. This is what you sign up for. Really? Really? You are the Princess of Wales now. You are still in the family. Meghan Markle's still getting it. You're the princess, but everyone's supposed to back off? No. I want the same energy for this.
Yeah, no,
I
it's
want
a
the
fair
same
point.
energy for the same issue. And in a world where Queen Elizabeth is forced to go out there in her final days, do you remember that?
Yes, they do.
When Liz Truss became prime minister for 8 hours, she had to go meet, like, she was still doing stuff.
Yes.
As the Queen of England, as the Queen of the monarchy.
Yeah.
But we can't, no one in Buckingham Palace has the sense to have some type of assuredness, because there are people legitimately worried about this now.
Because what else?
I don't know who this guy is, but I tell you, he said what he said, and I agree 100. I agree 100. And like he said, I want that same energy. That's why I said something has shifted. People get it, and more people have been moved over to the side of good sense, of common decency, truth, enlightenment. More people have been shifted because of this great embarrassment that they have brought upon themselves. I mean, this is how many days have it been? And I said, I don't understand how William gets the call off from work. The Queen went to work the same week they buried Philip. When they put Philip down in that vault, the Queen went to work. She kept her engagement later that week. And that was during the global pandemic. She didn't miss a beat. When Philip was in the hospital, she kept working. And then, even though she was mostly in a wheelchair, she was still doing Zoom calls. The Queen was in a wheelchair. When she went to Westminster Abbey for Philip's prayer thing, she didn't use the front door because she couldn't walk that far. So she came through the side entrance. And so, of course, Andrew was supposed to just walk her to the door, and then one of the clergy was going to take her to her seat. But Andrew held on and wouldn't let that happen. But she couldn't walk that far. She was mostly in a wheelchair. But still, she carried on. But William, Kate has a staff of 62 people. And according to William, his words, not mine, 2 Filipino nurses that are taking good care of her. So why can't you work? And then to put out the announcement that I am going to change the way I royal. I'm not going to do those traditional engagements, which, of course, as Legg said very wisely, instead of that, he's going to do like Harry and Meghan. He wants to do more of the behind the scenes stuff and not so much public face of the monarchy. If you're not going to go out there, then what is the point? As the Queen said, I have to be seen to be believed. That's why she wore those bright colors, so that someone who has gone, the extra mile to watch them come out on the balcony or to see her at the flower show, she wears something bright so you can say, yes, I've seen her. She's no bigger than a minute, but I've seen her. But him, not so much. He will do whatever Harry does. Instead of keeping up with the Kardashians, he's keeping up with the Sussexes. And people have noticed. KDV says, Baron, in Charles' reign, there is a lot of BS. Here. They have lost the message. They've lost control of the message, right? Also, Charles is too ill, allegedly, possibly, to be the public face of the monarchy. And at such a time, just as Charles stepped up for his mother, William is supposed to step up for Charles. Except for one thing, William is not going to do it. He has refused to do it. Now, when he put out that statement saying that he was going to do more, and then, of course, Charles puts out a statement saying that I'm going to fulfill all of my obligations. In other words, you know what Charles was trying to say to William at that point, right? Let me refresh your tea. I'll tell you exactly what he was saying. So William says, well, I am going to seize power. That's what he was really trying to say. And Charles' retort was,
Hey, girl, sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Stop.
That was Charles' response to William and his proclamation to do more work. Anyway, thank you, Katie V. He had to get with William in a polite way and just tell him to sit down. We have no use for that nonsense. William is a talker, not a doer. All of those statements, like my mission in life is to bring peace to the Middle East, not I'm going to rid the royal family of all of the ivory. That didn't happen either. There was ivory in the coronation. Let me think. What else was it? Let's see. He was supposed to do something about pollution, right? And he's supposed to be a different kind of royal. That one's he made that statement in quite a few different ways. And of course, that very classic thing that he had told the people at the, what was that? The Ukrainian Cultural Center? Remember that one?
I'm sorry we can only come and give words and comfort, but we are thinking about you the whole time and we really care about what's going on. So
sometimes it's just more than financial.
Well, if we can give you the odd smile here and there, that's important. So, you know.
And of course, the guy was embarrassed. And he said, well, you know, sometimes that's all you can do. Is it really? Is that really all you can do? You see, this is at that point when, you know, Harry, especially if he had the resources available, would have shown up with things, right? Meghan would have shown up with things. But they did bring something. I think they brought a pan of brownies. They didn't bring any toys for the kids. They didn't bring any clothes or anything like that. Remember, this is the Ukrainian Cultural Center. So there's a lot of displaced families that fled to different parts of Europe. And I think they brought granolas and brownies. And that's only because they were trying to mimic Harry and Meghan. That's why Kate is dressed down instead of wearing her usual coat dress. As you can see, she's gone super casual. Lorna Williams says, Baron, the announcer was from City TV Canada. That announcer was from TV City Canada. Which announcer? You know, that guy. Oh, the guy. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. I get it now. I was like, what guy? This guy. Let me see. Where is he? This guy. Thank you very much. I've never seen him before, but he is like my new favorite person. City TV Canada. gonna have to check that out. Thank you very much. And thank you for being a member and for watching Royal Sussex. Now, the other way that the Queen got around, I love when she started using her staff like Moses. I thought that was a beautiful thing. I'm like, there's the Queen with her hair all white, just like Moses coming down from the mountain, wrapped up in her Hebrew cloth, and she's got her staff. I tell you, I felt like she was going to start marching people to the promised land. I thought it was I thought it was very sweet. But yeah, when I saw that, I'm just like, if she was wearing a toga and a pair of sandals, she looked just like Charlton Heston. But yeah, I kind of miss old Lizzie now. I really do. It's when you find out that what's coming along next is so inappropriate and so boring and lackluster. You know what I mean? Just think of the stuff that she was still doing at age 90 that Charles can't even do at age, 75, 76? Yeah. Okay. Who in the world is trying? Okay. All right. So, and then, of course, not to be outdone, there's Kate pretending to be Moses. I know, Rohini, let my people go. I wonder if she was ready to part the River Thames. I'm pretty sure she probably could do that if she wanted to. She could probably part the River Thames. Let my people go. I don't care what nobody say. That was a good movie. The 10 Commandments. I love that movie. But guess what, you guys? I think I am done. Yes, I am. I am done. That was it. I may come back later if there's anything interesting to talk about, like I did yesterday. But I tell you, this photo gate has been the gift that just keeps giving. I've had so much fun with it. And I'm enjoying seeing the Kensington Palace crew brought down a peg or two. Now, I'm not wishing anything bad on them, but I'm enjoying seeing them being brought down a peg or two. Speaking of pegging, I'm pretty sure that at some point, part of that 2024 announcement will involve a pulled pork sandwich. If he's brave enough, there will be a pulled pork sandwich in the future. But there are people, they are still saying that there is a imminent word coming that there's going to be a divorce. Gosh, did you guys watch Stephen Colbert? Stephen Colbert spoke about what's her name? Rose Hanbury. Stephen Colbert spoke about Rose Hanbury. I didn't do a slide for it, but I could play it if you guys want, but I don't have a slide for it. But I could not believe it. Stephen Colbert spoke about Rose Hanbury. But you'll do better to watch it yourself. It was very funny, so I won't do it. But you guys should go ahead and watch it if you get a chance to. I will put the link on the community tab because I did watch it earlier myself. As a matter of fact, thank you, everyone. I am done. Have a good day or good night. I'm going to go right now and grab that link while I'm thinking about it. Otherwise, I am likely to forget. How do I get there? Oh, nope, that's not it. Anyway, I'll do that later. As much as I've been on YouTube, I still don't know how to get to where I need to go. Wait, I got this. I still got this. I don't got it. Oh, go. There we go. Duh. All right. No, that's not it. Yeah, you know what? It's like an 11-minute monologue, and it was just at the very ending of it. But yeah, I'm going to put this on the community tab for you. But if you want to get to the part about the about Rose Hanbury, it's toward the end. But just watch the whole thing. It was pretty funny. Okay, I'm going to put Rose Hanbury on there so you'll know which link it is. Rose Hanbury. Okay, done it. All right, thank you very much. Let me take a look at your final comments here. Oh, yes, you guys. I did mention it, I think, Tuesday, but Jerry White is, she decided to not have the surgery. She is going to trust in the Lord, is the word she said. And also, she's going to depend on your continued prayers. But she has decided to call off the surgery and just try to do things another way. So thank you for asking. But yes, Jerry is in good spirits. And she decided, again, not to have the surgery. But she has said thank you for the prayers. And she hopes that you'll continue to pray for her. So thank you so much for asking. Well, Myra, I put it on the community tab. I put the link there. It is fun, though. You should just watch it because he does a few things, and I could never do the justice of you actually watching it. Of course, I don't mind. Charlotte. Hi, Charlotte. It's been a while. Thank you so much for being here. Charlotte, I got to get your theme back. I got to rework it. You know, I lost it on my other computer, but I can rework it and get my Charlotte theme back. I miss my Charlotte theme. But yes, it was on my other PC. And when I took it for repair, they deleted it. So I don't have it anymore, unfortunately. I really missed that too. Yeah, it was kind of like part of the brand, right? How dare they come for Misan Harriman? Yeah, Misan showed his receipts, right? And of course, because Misan, and I'm so glad you brought that. Wait a minute. There we go. I'm so glad you brought that point up, beautiful day, because Misan has now put the pressure on the Kensington Palace crew to produce their original photo, which of course they have refused to do because that original photo does not exist, because what we have seen has been a collection of body parts. There is no original photo. That was just something that was slapped together. Oh, what's that? Baron on the View this morning. Oh, what was on the View? What I miss? Okay, I'm still looking at your comments. Okay. All right. Well, I think we're good. Well, if there's anything interesting that happens, you know what? I have been really, I should say, having a party, around the clock party with the social media, the TikTok, the Twitter, and of course YouTube. I have been having a party with this whole photo gate. It's like I don't want it to end. So yes, if there's anything interesting that come up, I will definitely come back later. But if not, then I'll just wait till tomorrow. But if it's something juicy, I'll be there. That's my diabolical laugh. Okay. All right. So I better go then. Thank you very much, you guys. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow or later, whichever comes first. And our last word of the day is, let me see. Who's got something good for me? Oh, I heard about that. I heard people, I never watched The View, so I may have to see that one now, but I don't know if I could take it, but it'll be worth seeing it. Yeah, Whoopi is friends with Charles and Camilla. Y'all know that, right? Whoopi will tell you in a heartbeat that she is friends with Charles and Camilla. She loves her some Charles and Camilla. So it only makes sense that she would be kissing up to them. I must admit, I don't understand her sometimes. It seems like as she's gotten older, she's gotten to be a little meaner as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, she kind of lost me some time ago, so I never watched The View. Really? The Washington Post, let me see. The Washington Post, Prince William. They have a funny photo of him. I wouldn't know what it looks like. Let me try the Twitter for Washington Post, because I don't see anything there. Do you know the name of the article? Hey girl, sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Oh my God, I see it. I see it. This is funny. Oh, this is funny. This is funny. Okay, I'm going to share it. Give me just a second. Oh my God, this is funny. Lady T, you have outdone yourself. You have outdone yourself. You have sang for your supper today. All right, you have definitely sang for your supper. Let me get a nice white background for it. Okay. That way I'll have a nice little white background so you can see it clearly. Okay. What am I doing here? Nope. Do that. Go there. Nope. There. Well, gosh, I got to put something on the screen, don't I? Give me a second. I love it. Now, anytime you find yourself in a situation where you have to provide proof of life, this is how you do it, courtesy of Kensington Palace. Courtesy of Kensington Palace. And of course, you could always put like some, you could always put like some little loudspeakers outside, some of those all-weather speakers. So that way you could even broadcast a voice to help people, to help with the illusion.
Well, obviously it'd be, I would love to have met her, and she's obviously, she's an inspirational woman to look up to, obviously to this day, and, going forward and things. It is, it's a wonderful family. The members who I've met have achieved a lot, and, very inspirational. So, yeah, I do.
And that shall serve as our last word for today. It's even funnier if you don't look at her face. You know what I mean? It's even funnier if you're not looking at her face. I just realized that just now, that if you're not looking at her face, it's even funnier because you actually are not watching her lips form the words. You're more just listening. So anyway, thank you so much for that. That is a hoot. That is a hoot and a half. I wonder if he ordered that from Timo or Timu. Was it Timu? Wonder if he ordered that from Timu. Probably ordered it about 2 months ago and it's just not getting here. Oh man, I love it. Okay, I got to close this out. Let me see here. Okay. All right. And our queens, and of course, Madam Duchess, and we are out. We are out.